Hey, Jeremy here. Over the past couple of months, I've been making these behind the scenes videos leading up to Blue Ridge Ruby, covering the different aspects of what it takes to put on a conference. And one of those underappreciated but really crucial aspects is marketing. It's also one that is notoriously difficult for developers. I've been working really hard to level up my own marketing skills and get the word out about the conference, but I know I have room for improvement. So, as I was thinking about this the other day, it occurred to me maybe I should reach out to my friend Rhiannon Payne. Rhiannon led marketing efforts for the last RailsConf, and she offers fractional marketing services for developer tools. She's a marketer who understands developers and, even more specifically, Rubyists. So, here's our conversation. Hey, Rhiannon.
Hey Jeremy, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing?
Good, can't complain. It's a beautiful Friday in San Francisco. We're having spring weather right now, so I'm enjoying it.
That's good. We're getting some decent weather here too. So I feel like spring is on the way and that feels so much better than where I was like a
Yes.
few weeks ago. So I'm
Oh
very
my
happy.
goodness, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been storming a lot here, but right
Oh.
now I think it's like 65 and sunny,
Oh,
so
that's pretty nice.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy.
Well, thanks for being willing to talk to me today. I have been making these behind the scene videos, like talking through what I've been doing with all the planning leading up to Blue Ridge Ruby. And the other day I had this idea like, oh, I should talk to my friend Rhiannon. She is like a marketing expert because a lot of the job and what so many other people don't realize, a lot of developers don't realize, is just how much marketing you have to do to put on any, like to get any attention at all, but to put on an event, like you have to like get the word out. And
Yes.
so I've been like really busting my tail trying to do as much as I can, but I'm not an expert and I would love to find out what you think about what I'm doing and see maybe things that you see that I'm doing maybe not as good as they could be or things I'm missing, and just kind of pick your brain about it,
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
that's
I'm
cool.
super happy you reached out to me and happy to help if I can. I'm excited about what you're doing. I wish I was able to go this year. Blue Ridge Ruby has been on my list of Ruby conferences that I want to go to for a while. And
Thanks.
I keep seeing, I have seen some of your social media posts coming
Mm-hmm.
out, and seeing just how many hours a week you're devoting to working on this and making it an amazing event. So, yeah, I think it's really cool what you're doing. I have mad
Thanks.
respect.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I love all of the different pieces that you have to do,
Yes.
the like the experience planning, like figuring out how to make a good experience for people. But I also like the marketing stuff and the writing, the design, like all the different pieces are really enjoyable. Right now it feels super overwhelming. And so
Yes.
like I get to the place where I'm kind of tapped out mentally and don't know what else to do.
That's
But
valid.
I do like it all. So
I love
the
that
other
you're enjoying it too, because I feel like it is such a fun challenge, like the creative side and the distribution of it all, compared to what you probably do a lot of day to day, which is
yeah,
building and
just
product
building.
design and
Yeah.
development, and
Hmm.
probably a fun change of pace.
Yes. There's another sort of ulterior motive that I have around doing this kind of stuff, which is I want to get better at marketing. I want to get better at these things because I still love building my own products.
Mhm.
And I feel like if I can sell tickets to a conference, maybe I can sell, licenses for software. And I know it's not exactly the same, but figuring out how to like earn attention from other people and like convey like personality and taste and vision and all those kind of things, like this gets me reps, I feel like, for
Yes.
the next time I do product work. And so that really matters to me and is kind of my like other reason why I'm spending so much time doing this stuff.
Yeah, I love that. And I do think, I actually think it's probably a harder lift to like get people to buy tickets to an event, fly out, take time out of their schedules. So I feel like if you can nail this down, and put on a great event, which you will, everything else should be relatively easy compared to that.
I will say the first year was the first time I'd like felt like I'd sold something online, not just my service, like my normal
Mhm.
focus Rails dev services, but like sold a thing online that worked. I maybe sold a few tickets to a workshop or something very small, but this was the first thing that felt substantial. That
Yeah.
and the things that were different about it was like I felt like, okay, a conference, even though this is a new one, people knew what to do. Like they knew it was like a known category. So it was
Hmm.
like, oh, we could go to this conference, like, so here's another one. And it's just like, oh, you just choose it. So in some ways
Hmm.
that felt to me a little easier than all the times I've tried to build products and never got any sales.
Right.
So, but I'd still think like all the work that I've been doing there is hopefully serving me like getting better at, crafting a pitch well and figuring out how to like persuade people and finding out what the things that are blocking them, like, or what are the things that if it's not this one, what's the other one?
Yeah.
You mentioned like, being able to go to another conference at the same time. Well, that sometimes is the choice, and it's not like competitors necessarily, but it is in the sense that like people are like, well, I could go to one or the other.
Right.
There are reasons why you would go to one or the other. So
How do you get people to invest their time? People don't have a lot
yeah,
of time generally to
yeah,
travel and go to things. How do you convince them that your event is the one that's going to be most worthwhile? I think it's a cool
yeah,
challenge. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, no,
Okay,
happy to run through. Like I said,
yeah,
I've seen some of the stuff that you've been posting
mm-hmm.
online. I know you've been doing a lot with video,
Mm-hmm.
which I love because I don't know. I feel like video is more important than ever right now, and it's something I personally am trying to get better at and do more of. Is like publishing on YouTube, creating like short reels, streaming stuff like that, because it's one of those things that's if you can do it skillfully, tastefully, stands out so much more than everything, all of the other AI generated marketing slop that's coming
Yeah,
out
yeah.
everywhere. So I love that you're doing that.
Thanks. That's another thing that like I, for ulterior motives, want to get better at video, and I feel like I'm not great yet. I do want to get better just by putting in the reps. I feel
Mhm.
like podcasting taught me how to talk on the spot and like not kind of. I don't know. I still trip on my words sometimes, but I feel much less self conscious about just talking to you right now and knowing this is going to go out online. Anyone can see it and like nitpick all the things that I said. And then when
Yeah,
I started, it would have bugged me like so much that I'd have trouble even getting it out. And now I can just kind of like talk, and it's going to be fine. It's fine.
yeah,
So I feel like putting
absolutely.
in the reps is like another thing. So, and I know like what you, like I think I'd seen Aaron Francis say sometime back, like how video is like, it's kind of like its own class where
Hmm.
there are so few people in that making video that like the
Yeah,
competition is less. So if you can do video, you'll stand out more, whether it's
100%.
producing that on social, releasing on social media or whatever it is. So that was definitely a reason for that. So let me tell you like what I've been doing and things that I've have been challenges, some things that I've noticed, and then I'd love to hear from you.
Mhm.
So you've seen some of the things I've done. I have my strategy so far has been um, we've got them to mainly I'm using social media obviously like that's and I'm using like Twitter, Blue Sky, Mastodon, like the Ruby social Mastodon particularly, and then LinkedIn and YouTube actually. So all
Got
five
all
of
your bases
those,
covered.
right? Which if you have like for people that haven't done that before, that is like so much work. Just like
Yeah.
craft a post for each one and then tag the right people and each it's like so
Yep.
it takes so much time.
Even
Um
just setting up the channels can be such a blocker.
yeah, yeah, totally. So and I've been playing around with my strategy has been um okay, so for all of the brand accounts on all five platforms, maybe with the exception of YouTube, I personally have more followers than the brand does.
Mhm.
And so there's that aspect of it that's kind of difficult. And out of the organizer team, I have the kind of the most following on Twitter, Blue Sky,
Mhm.
YouTube, whatever it is. And so I've been trying to figure out which things to put on the brand
Yeah.
accounts and which things to post on mine. So that's part of why I've done the behind the scenes because I've been doing the behind the scenes videos on my own account and then reposting from the brand accounts. But for official stuff, I've been putting it out through the brand accounts, which have fewer followers and get lower impressions and lower engagement. So then I'm reposting it from my personal for that. but then it gets just like really tricky. So the distribution seems better when it's coming from me, and
Yeah.
like worse when it's coming from the brand accounts. But that's like feels like where I should put all the official stuff rather than from mine. So that's kind of a weird thing I've noticed, and I have a theory about partly about that. Like partly it's like I've spent a lot of time trying to develop good content like for Ruby on Rails developers on these different
Mhm.
channels, depending on the one more or less. And and also I think people care more about following people than about brands. Like so, it's more interesting to follow a person than to be like, I don't know what this brand is. Like, who is this? You know, who is this organization or who's even posting this? Like, I hate that personally, so
Yeah.
I don't really care that much about that stuff unless it's Duolingo or something like that where
Yeah.
they're like so quirky and like great, like they're doing something so wacky that's interesting. But
Yeah, they do an exceptionally good job that I feel like is many brands have tried and
yeah,
failed miserably in reproducing that. It's kind of like
yeah.
lightning struck there, and if you try too hard to do like a Duolingo approach, it kind of
It
turns
might come
out to be
off
super
badly.
cringe. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
most of
Yeah.
the time.
You're definitely walking the fine line there if you're
Yep,
trying to pull that off. Yeah. So I know I'm not
absolutely.
going to pull that off. So I can kind of do me, and like for people to follow me, they kind of know how I am and how I come across, and so they can get more of that, and that seems to work well. So one of the challenges has been like which things to put where, and I definitely
Mhm.
have found that when I do the stuff on the branded accounts, it just doesn't get nearly the reach,
Yeah.
even if I'm doing like reposting or adding my own comments and things like that. Um, then the other thing is like I've been trying to space out and have different things. Like you've got your standard things, like the big announcements are like the speakers doing the speaker line announcement, like here's all our speakers, here's
Mhm.
the talks, announcing our sponsors. That seems to be in some ways feels like, hey, like companies are like, no, we're a thing. Like we're supported and you can come and we're legit. Like, so there's partly that kind of stuff. I was started making the behind the scenes videos because Adrian Marin was like, hey, people like hearing from you and
Yeah.
you've got interesting things to say, and I think that would
He's
be
been doing
good.
a
So
great job with video lately as well.
totally. Yeah, yeah, he does. And so that's been fun, and it's hard to tell. Like the videos end up being longer, and um, it seems like you got to really be interested maybe in conference stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know. It's like hard to tell, but I enjoy it, and like it's been good. I just like there's that. So then last week I started a new thing, which is I'm calling it Ridge Notes, and I'm doing a short mini interview with each speaker ahead of time, to talk like do like basically pregame their
Mhm.
talk without giving too many things away. So I did one with Joelle Kenville, um, and that went pretty well because like we scheduled it. I was like, we're gonna just do 15 minutes. That's the from start to call to end to call,
Mhm.
and then the video is gonna be like 5 to 10. And that one came out pretty well, I think, and I'm planning to do that for all the speakers. But gosh, that's like I got to do that now 10 times, which is a ton of extra stuff. Um, and then I've also been working on some other projects. You know at SF Ruby how they did the Clouds app. Um,
Yes,
okay,
the like yeah, the
yeah,
nano
social
banana and
sharing.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'm doing that, but I'm doing something like that, but I've roped in a couple uh, a couple of volunteers to build out this app, and it's going to be. I don't know if you ever grew up, if you when you grew up, like if you ever read Richard Scarry books, like
That
Busytown, like
sounds so
yeah,
familiar
okay,
that
it's
it's hitting something in my brain,
yeah,
but I
all
can't
right,
quite
okay.
place it.
It's like all these little animals, and they have
Hmm.
jobs, little jobs or whatever. Anyway,
Half
I was playing around
welcome,
with Chat
even for
GPT
animals.
and found a way to like make Richard Scarry style illustrations of people
Oh, that's
like when
awesome.
they upload their photo. So that's what we're doing, and we're calling it Ash Villagers. So you get
Oh,
your Ash
cute.
Villager character like
Wait,
when
I
you
love
register.
that. Wait, can
So
you, is there
mhm.
something visually ready that you could share with me right now, or
Okay, so
no pressure?
how could I show you? So we did a behind the scenes video where I was showing all the stuff for that. Do
Hmm.
you
You can also just send me a link if that's easier than sharing screen.
Oh yeah, you know what? I could do this. I can totally do this with Figma. Um,
I love that. I thought that was such a stroke of genius on Irina's part for SF Ruby. The like
yeah,
clouds,
yeah,
so
hmm
good. I'm glad that
yeah.
other
I thought it
conferences are
was really
kind of
fun,
picking up
and I
on
wanted
that.
to. Yeah, totally. I'm definitely stealing everything good that I see
Of
other
course,
conferences doing.
as you should be.
um, I okay. Thanks. Figma is really slow loading here. Let me uh okay, here we go. Here we go. Um I was just finalizing with um um there's like two volunteers, both named Joshua. One is doing dev, one is doing design.
Nice.
And Joshua, a designer, he and I just finished up the UI for this. Screen window.
Yeah, I feel like it's too much of a tease to talk about this and not share a
Yeah,
visual.
yeah, I'm totally cool with sharing. There's nothing like we kind of shared like the rough visuals originally. All right,
Oh, cute.
so these are the little
Oh my
characters,
God.
and so I uploaded. I
Wait,
kind
that's
of
it.
just
Could
need
you
to
zoom
show
in a little
you.
bit on one?
Yeah. I'm trying to let's see. Okay, so
Wait, this looks so familiar to me now. This is
yeah, okay,
really hitting something in my
yeah.
90s kid
All
brain.
right, yeah. All right. So
Oh
I
my
love these
God.
books, and I thought, like, what if I could like upload a photo of myself? Like, how close would the animal look to me? And then like, what if I took? I didn't want to have like. So with Busy Town, the idea is like you see like in the book, you're looking at all these people that have different jobs. Like there's a little
Mhm.
dog policeman, and there's a bus driver, and someone that works at a grocery store. And I thought, like, I don't want everybody to put like computer programmer as their
Yeah.
thing. So for this one, it's like you fill out a prompt, which is like if you were gonna pick up a new sport, what would it be? Mountain biking. Okay,
Interesting.
you get a random animal, you upload your photo, and you're gonna be a goat mountain biker.
That's
And
so cool.
if you were gonna have a job in like a non-tech job in retirement, what would it be? And I said trail guide. So like random animal was cat, trail guide, profile photo, and there's my little cat trail guide.
Is
So
trail
that's
guide
how
like your actual answer, by the way?
it might be. I was sort of going fast, but that just like came out of me, and I was like, "Huh, that's
Yeah.
interesting."
I mean,
Um,
given whatchamacallit, what's the
like
name of
Ruby
the
on
event?
Trails,
Ruby
like
on Trails. Yes, I can see it.
yeah,
I can see
yeah,
it.
totally. Um, and I also tried. I have to show you this other thing because I tried all these different prompts, and these ones use this profile photo, so you can kind of see like it got the shirt right, and it got
Yeah,
like the hair kind of. And I
I can
wanted to
see it.
also have the profile image, like so somebody could replace their social profile if they wanted to.
That's
So
so
that's I've got
cute.
that. But I also used like this old picture of me from years
That's so
ago where I had this
good.
massive goatee, and it kind of got this
Yeah.
like it kind of got the buzz and the goatee going, and with this
Wait, that's
fox.
perfect. I'm obsessed with
I
this.
love. I was really excited about it.
I'm kind of preferential to the cat
Yeah, I do
trail
like the
guide.
cats.
That's
Yeah,
my favorite, I think.
that seems to be the quintessential busy town animal
Hmm.
is like the cat. That is the most common one. And I definitely love the cat. So I could definitely feel that.
I'm obsessed
Um,
with this.
and then, but I also was telling
Oh,
Joshua,
dog knitter. That's
yeah,
so
I
cute.
was like, that was the prompt on that one was, if you were a professional artist, what type of art would you make? And I said fiber artist. That seems
Interesting.
the most interesting to me. Um, I have I have done some knitting, so I
Interesting.
have
Okay.
knitted before, but I've also gotten some really cursed images out of this, and this was the worst one, like
Wait,
a turtle guitar player, and this guy is so
no.
freaky to me.
No, that's kill it forever.
So
Awful.
yeah, so this also could be interesting. We may end up making a page of cursed Ash
As you
villagers.
should. Yeah, like a wall of shame of
Yeah.
like,
Look what the AI gave us for
yeah,
this.
cursed AI slob.
Yeah. So, all right. So that
That's
gives you a
great.
taste of what we're
Okay.
doing there. So I've
That
been sharing
actually gives me
that.
a really good sense of the overall vibe that you're going
Okay.
for.
Cool. Yeah.
just
Um,
generally.
yeah. I'm trying to put a lot of the personality into it with, it's not like just me, or I'm not trying to just put my personality into it. Like I want it to feel like Asheville, like as I
Mhm.
understand it. And so but I'm also like wanting to try to create a coherent
Yeah.
style, like visual style and sense of the place, which is, all right, Asheville is a cool, quirky, interesting town. You know, it's a beautiful mountain town. It's a place that you're gonna enjoy being. Like it's Blue Ridge in particular is a friendly conference in the vein of friendly RB. You know, the kind of place
Mhm.
that you're gonna make good friends at, where talks are important, but not the only thing that you're gonna come for. Not just for learning. You're gonna come away with friends. We're emphasizing the breaks, the times away where you're having good discussions, the Saturday activities where you're really getting to round out those relationships. That's all of like what I'm trying to convey.
Yeah. I
And so
think
I've been
that's
doing
great.
like, cool, thanks. Um, so that's another project, and it's still in works, but hopefully in the next couple weeks we'll have that
Yeah.
out, and then that will hopefully like um, be able to be like a marketing thing that will help, you know.
Yeah.
And so also it becomes an index, hopefully, of all of the people going to the event and their social media profiles. That was another thing
Yeah.
that they didn't do with the clouds app that they could have, which is like I wanted to go through and be like, am I following them online? I
Yeah,
can't remember
exactly.
like
Like,
who's that
oh, this
person.
person. Yeah.
I've heard their name, but who I can't find. Like now, I got to go look on every platform to find them, and I
Yes.
just wanted one place to see all of them. And so that's the riff I'm doing on
I
top of
wonder if
that.
there's a tie-in with Marco's Ruby events as well somehow,
I've been
or like
thinking
a
about it.
tie-in
Yeah,
with Ruby Passport.
yeah. I I don't know yet. Like been thinking about that. Also, Rachel, who is on the Ruby Events team now, one of the maintainers,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
she's speaking at Blue Ridge, and so she had mentioned that, and so
I like that.
I think there's something to that. I just don't know what
There's
it is yet.
something there. There's something there.
Yeah,
Talk to Marco. I feel like he would have ideas.
yeah, totally, yeah. We're also doing the Ruby embassies. Speaking of
Mhm.
like Ruby events and the tie-in there.
Yeah, I did see on social, Adrian sent you like a giant box
Yeah,
full of
yeah,
passports and swag and
yeah.
things.
Uh-huh. And it's like for ours plus a few other conferences too. So it's
Nice.
easier for him to ship like one big package to me,
Yeah.
and then we can ship from there. Or anybody that comes to Blue Ridge can pick up the stuff they need. So,
I love that this is
yeah.
just becoming like essential infrastructure for global
Yeah.
Ruby events. Like, I
Yeah.
love how like quickly this spun up at Rails World last year, and
I
now it's
know,
kind
right?
of taking over.
It's
It's very impressive.
it's awesome, yeah. And feels like yeah, it just like took over as a really important thing immediately. I really love that. Um
Yeah, I'm obsessed. I still need to get Irina to stamp my passport
uh-huh.
from SF Ruby because I couldn't find
Oh,
it that week. But
dang it.
I have since
Yeah.
found it, so
Okay.
I need to follow up with her about that.
That's cool.
But
Yeah.
okay, so you've just shared a lot. Let's
Mhm.
kind of try to go through this somewhat
Yeah.
methodically. I have so
Mhm.
many thoughts.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I think where we started the conversation was around, the divide between leveraging your personal brand as Jeremy Smith,
Yeah.
and the Blue Ridge brand accounts,
Mhm.
which obviously have fewer followers, less engagement thus far, etc.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, as you were talking, I was like, yep, just nodding along. Like, this is such a common, like almost ubiquitous problem. Just across the board, like I have so many brands, even like larger startups who specifically really want to focus their marketing not just on their brand accounts, their business accounts, but also um, having like a very specific strategic focus on building up thought leadership. I hate the phrase thought leadership. I'm just going to say it because I don't know what else
I
to
get
say.
it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get it. Everyone gets it. So
Yeah.
thought leadership for CEOs or
Mhm.
executives when with the company, making that like a specific marketing lever. Because to your point, people like to follow humans. People like to
Yeah.
hear what people think, not
Yeah.
generally speaking what brands think.
Right.
Um, so I think I mean, this is just such a common problem, and I think the reality of it is that you, as Jeremy, will always get better engagement than anything you post on your brand accounts.
Yeah.
That being said, it really like comes down to like very strategically cross-pollinating across accounts, like
Hmm.
leveraging your personal brand and all of this goodwill you've created within the Ruby community through your podcast and different activities and things like that over the years. Figuring out how to allow those things to feed and tie into each other in a kind of elegant way, which I think you've been doing well so far from what I've seen.
Thanks.
Um, it is important to continue to like invest time in building up the brand accounts because um, if you continue hosting this every year or turning it into something else down the line, like it
Hmm.
will continue to grow and that will start to pay off more and more. But
Yeah. Well, there's
yeah,
also I don't want it to just depend on me. Like what
yeah,
if I like
fair.
in 2024 I was like I can't do it, guys.
Yeah,
So
I
they took
remember
over
that.
and ran it and like so I also don't want it to be like totally on me like as the
Yep.
distribution channel around marketing. So that's another factor too.
Yeah, and I think that kind of is, would you say that is the reality as of now that your sort of personal brand and backing of Blue Ridge Ruby is kind of like a big part of the like the magic behind it?
Um, is it the magic? I don't know if it's
I
the
mean,
magic.
that's a big question. I would say
I
so. I would say you're like a big part of the magic.
I like to. Well, I there's a part of me that wants to be the star, but
Sure.
there's a bigger part of me that cares about just being the container, creating the
Mhm.
container for awesome things to happen. Because just being by yourself is not that great, even if you
Yeah.
think you're awesome. Being the container and falling into the background when all that amazing stuff is happening is better in my experience. That
Hmm.
to me is better, and that's what I want, if that makes sense.
No,
And
that
if it
makes
means that I have to take the first step to make that happen or be the one that draws the outline to say like, all right, everybody, like fill it in, that's cool. I can do that. But I think that is one thing I've realized that you kind of need somebody to do that. Somebody has to be the one to be like, all right, I'm creating the container and I'm inviting everybody to bring their gifts and the things that their vision, the things that they're good at. And I'm not always good at like giving up control and giving up like bringing coordinating other people's visions and stuff like that. But I want to be, and I want to make it something that's like for everybody and um, something that like really celebrates the Ruby community, whether it's like me or in it or not, if that makes sense.
no, it makes perfect sense. I think as of now, like you being behind this is so valuable because of who you are and your energy and just the passion that you have for the community and everything that you have poured into the community over the years. Like bringing this event together, like arguably no one else could do this and create this event and create this space that you're creating, you're building this container for, right? The way that you're doing it. And then, yeah, ideally, hopefully down the line, it will become something bigger than you
Mm-hmm.
and not need to rely on you so much. But I think you are like, it is still at the point where it's like the magic that you're putting behind it really is part of what is making it so special.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably true. Or just even the sheer amount of effort
Yeah,
because
the
I can
ten,
I don't
20
know because I
hours a
work for
week.
myself. Like yeah, I could just like grind it out in a way that other people haven't been able to, or is probably not healthy to do.
Yeah,
So
but also just like
yeah,
the vision that you bring, the perspective that you bring. I think that's really special. And that's kind of what I love about all of these local Ruby events that are popping up all over the world and going to more and more of these smaller or like niche events,
hmm
like seeing the passion of the organizers behind them come to life
yeah,
and manifest in this really unique way that feels really true to them, like SF Ruby did
hmm
with Irina and the Martians behind it. Like it felt like such a wonderful manifestation of them and their love for the
yeah,
city of San Francisco and their love for the community. Like it really. like had such a strong, like their presence obviously was felt so strongly in every
Hmm.
aspect of that event. And that's
Yeah.
kind of, I think, what makes these events quite cool
Hmm.
is feeling
Yeah.
that. And like you were to your point earlier, you really want people to be able to experience the city of Asheville as you see it, because you are
Hmm.
kind of inviting like, you know, your friends, your Ruby friends from all over the
Hmm.
world to come to your city. And I think it's really special that, you know, that gives them an opportunity to see it the way, like through your eyes.
Yeah.
Um, just, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
rambling a little bit, but I
Uh-huh.
think that's so special. And I like that
Thanks.
that's coming out so much in your marketing and in your brand identity. Yeah.
Do you see any obvious ways that I could do that better?
It's a hard, it's one of those like tricky, almost intangibles, right?
Yeah.
To sort of figure out how to effectively convey. Um, I don't, this is like a very specific example, so forgive me,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
when you were sharing like the images of like all the different animals and their
Hmm.
jobs and stuff and talking about how all of that fits together and your love of Asheville, like I think that would be really cool represented as on like a map,
Yeah.
like a quirky. Have you already thought of
Yeah.
this?
Well, we've thought about ways that you could get them all in some, like something that looked like a town. Yeah.
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like even like an interactive map where like different like conference related activities or experiences are interwoven in that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know. That was just like what I immediately was thinking
Yeah.
about when you were sharing that with me. But just finding like really like fun and quirky ways to bring your personality out and your and the other organizers'
Hmm.
perspectives, both on like the Ruby community and also on the city and like everything that all of the activities that you're planning. Like, I think I'm so sick of seeing very generic feeling AI slop content marketing
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
basically everything. I feel
Yeah.
like taking risks and being creative and weird and having fun with it. And I think like an event like this is something that particularly like lends itself to this kind of um, experimental marketing. Um, yeah, just try shit, you
Yeah.
know?
That's definitely what the Ash Villagers thing is. Even the behind the scenes, a lot of this is me like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but like trying.
Why not?
Yeah.
If it
And
captures
so
attention and people like, if it, I think the biggest thing is just making sure it all aligns with the brand identity and the
yeah.
message that you want to get across and like the objective of selling tickets and getting people to go.
Yeah.
But one thing I really like is you seem to have like a very clear understanding of your brand identity, like who you want to be as a conference. And I know you've done this for a few years, but this it does feel like with all of the work you're investing in this now, like sort of an evolution and sort of like a maturation of it as well
Hmm.
this year.
Yeah.
But you know, you do feel like you have like I feel like you have such a strong grasp on who you are, what the event is, and what you want people to experience. And that's really being communicated well across all these touch points, I think.
Thanks. There's to kind of speak to that. I know we should probably wrap up here in a second, but
Yeah, I'm
to speak
sorry.
to that one, no, you're
Feel
good.
free to edit
This
the
is
heck out of
great.
this.
Well, I don't want to take all your time.
I have plenty of time.
But
It's up to
yeah.
you.
Okay. Well, the thing I was gonna speak to about that was like right now, like I've noticed like the software industry is crazy right now. AI is like on everyone's minds. Like
Yeah,
it's all I'm thinking about. Like when I'm working and when
for
I'm
better or
spending
worse.
nights and weekends trying to figure out like everybody, and it feels like especially in the last like since like November or something like that,
Yeah.
it's been this way. So part of me has been like, well, geez, if like, do people even want to go to a Ruby conference right now if this is like all we're thinking about? At the same time, like, I don't want to make Blue Ridge Ruby an AI conference. Not because I'm not, like, I'm using Cloud Code every day.
Sure,
I'm
same.
using all these tools, right? Yeah, yeah, and I've seen your content about that too. But so I want to keep Blue Ridge a Ruby conference, but I also thought, like, man, I was talking to Mark and Joe, like, are there co-organizers, and like, hey, I feel like maybe we should do something to speak to the moment, and like, so we
You
announced
have to,
today, like,
yeah.
yeah, we're gonna do a roundtable in the evening after day one, before day two, where it's kind of optional, but people can come together and we'll have like basically Rubius, let's get together, have a roundtable discussion about what's happening in our industry. You don't have to come if you're tired of hearing about AI, like you don't have to
Mhm.
do this, but if you're trying to figure out what you're doing, like with your work, how this is impacting other Rubius, if you want to hear from Rubius, this is your chance to do that in a
Yeah,
group where we're all like face to face. So I feel like that would be like was like a unique a
I
unique
really like that.
opportunity to do that.
Is that something,
So I'm hoping
are
that's
you going to
helpful.
kind of share whatever thoughts or insights come from that later, like more broadly?
That's a good
Because I think a
idea.
lot of
I hadn't
people
really thought
are,
about that. Yeah.
I think that would just be interesting for a lot of people
Hmm.
right now. And to
I
your
was originally thinking like
question,
we wouldn't record. It would kind of be like a closed session where it's like, like you can sit, like this is a safe space. You can say what you need to say
mhm,
here. You can like freak out and tell us how terrible it is or like what you're so frustrated about. And it's kind of like this is like our place to do that, air our grievances, like talk through like all the catastrophizing we're all doing or whatever it is,
what do
and then
they
hopefully come
call
out feeling,
those? Sorry to interrupt you. What do they
yeah.
call those things where you go into a room and you throw like
Oh
the
yeah,
cathartic, like where you throw plates
yeah.
against the wall and break
Right, right.
things?
Oh, I can't
Like a
remember.
break
Like
room? Like what are those
rage room or
called?
something. Is it a
Something,
rage room or
yeah.
something? Like something like that.
What if
Yeah.
you framed it like that? What if it was like an AI roundtable rage room where people just like get together to be like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck this, and like throw
Yeah.
plates at the wall?
Well, the thing is, like, I do know some Rubyists who are super excited,
Yeah.
like having a blast and loving it. So I also know they some of those people might be coming as well, and I want to
We might
give
still have
space
things
to all
that
of
would
that.
want them to throw
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's
It's
such a
true.
double-edged sword. Like, I feel
Mhm.
like the vast majority of people, it seems like, are simultaneously excited and energized by the new possibilities of it,
Yeah.
while also being incredibly afraid, like, what does this mean
Yeah.
for the future of my career and
Hmm.
this craft and this skill set that I've, spent so much of my life pouring into.
Yeah.
I think it's such a mixed bag of emotions for everyone.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
just
this afternoon,
it's just an emotional topic, I think.
it really is. Just this afternoon, like I built a feature that would have taken me days, So on that, but I'm also like mourning some of the loss of like writing code by hand in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. And what I keep thinking about is like the psychological state of arousal, like not
Mhm.
hyper arousal where it's fight or flight, but
Yeah.
just about there. And
Yeah.
that can be like exciting, or like it could be fear,
Yeah.
anxiety, or it can be excitement. Like all those classify in the same, like you're,
Both.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really what I keep seeing in a lot of people. It's like, it's a mix, like being on a roller coaster, but it never stops. You never
Yeah.
come down off the arousal. And that's like, I
Yeah.
think that's, I'm worried about the burnout for developers long term, like where we are in 6 months, like of being this close to fight or flight, and then feeling like burned out mentally. There's like a mental exhaustion that I think comes
Yeah.
from that, emotional exhaustion that comes from that. So I'm hoping that Blue Ridge can be a bit of a reprieve and hopefully a place where some people that have been around a while, especially that like the the seasoned Rubius who've seen a
Mhm.
lot of stuff, being able to say it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like whatever it looks like, we're going to be all right. We're going to
Yeah.
find a way through this. Like, yes, you can still do your craft. Yes, we can still love this language. Yes, you're gonna have work. We can find a way through this, and we can do it together. We can do it not just independently, thinking we're all drowning. And like, um, from a shipwreck or something, but we're gonna like survive together, whatever that looks like.
together. I
That's
think
that's
that's such
hopefully like what
strong
it comes across.
messaging. I love that. Like, I feel like what you literally just said, figuring out how to distill that message down a bit,
Hmm.
is going to be um, such a strong differentiator for the event that you're trying to produce because it's one of those things like no, people probably don't want to like spend all day talking about AI, but at the same time, you can't ignore it. You can't not speak to the moment.
Yeah,
So I think the way you're approaching it is absolutely pitch perfect. If you
nice.
figure out a way to kind of share or summarize some of
Yeah,
what
I
that
hadn't really
experience
thought
is
about that.
like I think,
Yeah,
it of course could be
that's cool.
anonymized or
Hmm.
whatever works for you or your attendees. I think people would be really interested in hearing
That's a good
um,
idea.
what comes
Yeah.
out of that.
There's so many things that happen during a conference that there are like optional things that you could do that would help sell the next one.
Hmm.
And I'm like so focused on just making sure the first one, like that this
Yeah,
one happens. Like, for example, like a great one is like, well, you should hire a photographer, an event photographer, because the event photographer sells the next one. Like, if you get good photography from this one, that's like everything I wish I had right now from the last one to be like,
yes.
look, remember what a great time we had? Look at all these faces that like that kind of stuff. And I don't have
Absolutely.
it because we didn't,
And
like,
video.
yeah, and video too. And you can get the
Like,
speaker video, but if you have like all the like
yes.
extra stuff, like Friendly RB, they did a great job with um like Adrian just had like a great team to come in and do a
Yeah,
lot of little
for
videos
sure.
and stuff like that. And oh, I'm so jealous of
I
that.
mean, honestly,
Um,
even just like having one of your kids walk around with an
mhm.
iPhone
Yeah,
recording random moments,
right.
like recruit one of them, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
There's so much you can do with that later. Just like walking, through different, yeah, through the hall, or I don't know what your venue space looks like,
Hmm.
but walking around the space and capturing people hanging out and engaging with each other. Like those are the kind of moments that I think really help kind of make it
Yeah,
feel real for people that weren't there.
that's and what Irina did with the film photo stuff, like her like
Yeah.
little film. I can't remember what she called them. They're like several not photo albums, but like reels or
Yeah. I
whatever it
can't think
is.
of
Like,
the, yeah, but
yeah,
I
what the
know
term is.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, but it was so great to go back and like see the film, like the stuff
Yes.
shot on film, and that felt very much like her or something. I don't know. It felt
Yes,
like
it
great.
did.
Like
That
I
was
really love
another
that.
thing where Arena's identity came out so much
Yeah,
in
I
the
really
way
like that.
the conference was produced.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that was cool.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love going back through event photos, and I end up using them on my site. Like, I've never asked permission, but I use them like
Oh.
on my website just because like that is a big part of my work and professional identity. And
It's an easy thing when when people are purchasing tickets, like it have a line somewhere in the terms or
yeah,
whatever, like we'll
right.
be taking
Hmm.
photos and videos of people. If
Yeah,
you're not open to that, let us know or something.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's what we did for like RailsConf and RubyConf when I was working on
yeah,
those conferences in the past.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Um,
But yeah, to your
oh,
question as well earlier, like, do people even want to go to a Ruby conference right now? Will they
mhm.
find value in that in this, weird AI-ified time that we're
Yeah,
all living in and experiencing? I think yes, absolutely. I think people want to go to events that feel like a little bit more grounded and human and
yeah,
realistic. Like, I don't know. I'm sick personally of, and this is like a me problem maybe. I'm sick of scrolling through Twitter all day
yeah.
and seeing all of these AI hype posts
It's all
constantly,
it
and
is. Yeah,
it's
and I'm
so
sure it'd be in San
overwhelming.
Francisco too. Is like probably
Yeah.
similar as well.
Yeah, it can't walk out my front door without a bus driving by with some stupid AI ad slapped
Yeah,
across it.
yeah.
Um,
It's like there can be too much of it, even of a good thing. So like I
Yes.
can on one hand be like, yes, this is good, I'm really happy, but like gosh, there's so many other things also happening in tech, in life,
Yeah,
like so many other things I want to learn. This doesn't have to dominate everything. And
absolutely.
it's not even that I would love to go to a Ruby AI meetup or event. Like that too is cool, but I want Blue Ridge to stay its own thing. That's not like has to like convert over to be just AI, like just to speak
Yeah,
to like the entire moment that we're in or something. The other thing that's been really
exactly.
frustrating from a marketing standpoint is I feel like just standing out this year is harder on social media to like get any attention just because it's like
Yeah,
so
so
dominated. Like
saturated.
just to get any attention, I feel like I'm connecting a lot to people I already know who've already been to the event or who know me, people I've met at conferences, people that I'm friends with online, people that came to Blue Ridge in the past. So that's great. I'm happy about that. But a lot of times as an event organizer, you want to reach people that would love to know about the conference and would go, but they didn't find out. Because you hear about that later, like, oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know there was a conference like an hour away from me. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
how did you not know? Like, how did I not get to you? And so trying to like, just like, so it being so hard to like stand out right now
right.
and like,
Trying to find the right channels to reach people outside your existing audience. I mean, that
yeah,
was a huge so I helped I led all the marketing for the final RailsConf in Philly last year and did
yeah.
some work for RubyConf in
I
Chicago.
didn't say that's part of why I also want to talk to you
Okay, yeah,
because
yeah,
you've done
yeah.
this. You've done
Just
this.
like I feel like most people
Yeah.
know me and know that about me.
Hmm.
Well, I
Yeah.
sorry, I don't want to be like most people know me.
Most people know.
Anyway, just for context, I did do those things, and I feel like that was a huge problem, even for like a much larger brand name conference in the space like
Yeah.
RailsConf,
Hmm.
and it being the final RailsConf, it was challenging to reach outside of like our existing bubble
Yeah.
to reach people who would be interested in attending, who may not already be on our email list, right?
Right. And
Um,
especially that one because it was like so many people that might have done Rails like back in the early 2000s and they were like, "Oh, I would love to go to the last RailsConf," but they didn't find out about it or they just
yeah,
barely found out. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm glad I got to go to the last one." But
right,
they may
absolutely.
not have been like consuming Rails content these days. And so it might just be
Exactly.
like slightly outside their radar. Um, did you ever find anything that like worked that would be like a generally applicable thing
Mhm.
to get
You know,
outside of the
we I feel like we did a fairly like a decent job with that for that
yeah.
conference. And I think DHH's attendance as like a keynote
Hmm.
definitely helped bring a lot of attention to the conference, and it being the
Okay.
last one definitely
Yeah.
helped. Um, That being said, I think we did have a lot of like focused outreach on students and earlier
Hmm.
career folks, and obviously Ruby Central has the Scholars and Guides program,
Hmm.
and all of the sort of content and outreach we were putting out into the world around that really helped
Yeah.
because we did have a lot of. I was shocked when I was at RailsConf going around talking to people how many people said it was their first RailsConf or RubyConf ever.
Hmm.
I was
Yeah.
so many people, like
Yeah.
anecdotally, I was so surprised
That's
by that.
interesting.
And it did seem like we were able to reach like a really strong audience of like early career
Hmm.
folks, and students. And I think that there's definitely something there, especially
Yeah.
if you do have any kind of program to offer, comped
The
or
scholarship.
discounted
Yeah.
tickets.
I
Yeah.
totally forgot to mention this, but
Cool.
2 weeks ago I announced 10 scholarship tickets, which we
Oh,
did the first year. And what I noticed is I think we've been able to grant about half so far, which has been
very
great.
cool.
Thrilled by that. Definitely hitting new people. Maybe like a maybe one that I'm friends with or like that I know have a relationship with, but new people. And then that ended up getting shared a lot more. Like the engagement around that like got a
Yeah.
lot further I think than
Yes.
would normally. Yeah, so that
And it
that kind of
helps pay
works that way.
dividends in so many ways. Like you'll get in
Yeah.
front of people who would really like to take advantage of an opportunity like
Hmm.
that to get a scholarship ticket, but also it helps raise visibility of the event across the
Yes.
board. I think
And maybe
another
this is like a coincidence, but I also got that day, I announced it that day. We sold three corporate level tickets that night.
I doubt that was a
So
coincidence.
I mean, it was just so interesting, the connection there. Like, oh yeah, they're doing good stuff. Let's support
Yes.
them. We were probably already going to get a ticket, but now we're like, let's make that happen.
Right. They
That
want to
was like
make
so
even more of an
nice.
investment.
It was
Yeah,
just like, oh yes, thank you. Like that's exactly what I need. Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, that was awesome.
One thing we did for RailsConf 2 leading up to the event was like profiles of different scholarship recipients,
Hmm,
which
that's
was really
cool.
cool because it offered, as their, for most of the scholarships, if not all of them, recipients, it was their first Rails or Ruby event that they'd been to.
Yeah,
And it was a really nice way for them to kind of feel like they were breaking the ice leading into the event, like an
yeah,
introduction to the community. Like, here's one of our scholarship recipients.
hmm,
They're working on blah, 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 and they're looking forward to, meeting recruiters or whatever the case may be. That was a really good way to introduce them and break the ice for them going into it, and also give them an opportunity to share with their network and attract more attention from like-minded people.
yeah,
And I think too, like one thing that's really important, or like valuable if you're able to, is finding, especially like maybe local communities or nonprofits on the East Coast related
hmm,
to helping junior software engineers or software engineers coming from marginalized communities,
hmm,
tapping into those networks with the offer of scholarship
yeah,
tickets and being able to, that's another way of sort of increasing visibility of the event within communities that wouldn't necessarily hear about it otherwise. And
right,
then,
yeah,
obviously offering like, a really cool opportunity to members of those communities.
hmm, yeah. That has been. I think we've tried that. I think in 2023 I was like, okay, we got to find these,
It might
educational
be easier with
organizations or
AI now
nonprofits,
to
and
like
maybe
identify
so.
the right organizations to
Yeah,
outreach
I
to.
know it was definitely a job. So like, yeah, if
Yeah,
there's a way to make that easier, like either given that, it'd be good if I could find a volunteer to do that or something, some way, because
yeah,
it's like trying to figure out who those organizations are, like who the right person to talk to there,
right.
and then it feels like even though you're giving something away, it's like a cold call or a cold email, like
Yeah.
so they're not expecting like what is Ruby? Oh, that's a programming language. Like let's connect the dots here and like make this happen.
Yeah. But even if like it resonates with like a small percentage of people that you reach out to, like I feel like it's worth it because again, that's spreading visibility not just of what you're doing, but the Ruby ecosystem as a whole, because I think that is a goal of everyone. Creating, building conferences, creating content, continuing to build in Ruby, like we all want the ecosystem to continue to grow and flourish in these weird AI
Yeah,
times. So it's like, yeah, I think like there's so many reasons why that's worth pursuing.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, 100%. All right, can I ask you one more question?
Yes, please.
All right, um, so this is similar, related somewhat. So one of our sponsors, they with their sponsorship level, they have several tickets that came with their sponsorship level. They can't use
Mhm.
them, and so we agreed that we would do like a giveaway of these
Right.
tickets. So we've got like four tickets to do a giveaway. I've spent like the past 3 weeks iterating on ideas like what could I do for a giveaway? Like how do I do this? And number one, it's either like something really complicated to be cool, or it ends
Oh,
up feeling
good.
like cheesy, and I can't figure out what to do that wouldn't be like a cheesy way to do a giveaway, like
So can you
hashtag
share
Blue
who the
Ridge Ruby.
sponsor is?
Hmm. Yeah, type sense.
TypeSense. Oh, I love TypeSense.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it would be interesting to tie the giveaway into like it's a sponsored giveaway on behalf
yeah,
of TypeSense, right?
yeah.
So
Right.
finding a creative way to tie it into
To the product somehow.
their product,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so it's
Which
a
you may have
search
already thought
engine,
of,
open source
but
search engine. So I've been
Mhm.
thinking like, what could I do like that? Yeah, I haven't, I haven't like figured that out yet. It did that did occur to me like, is there a way I could do that? I just like On top of everything else, trying to be creative in this area has
Right,
also been
right.
challenging. And I'm also like intimidated by doing, for whatever reason, like I've been doing a bunch of stuff, but this intimidates me. Like doing a
Interesting.
giveaway, I don't know why. Maybe because I'm afraid like I'm gonna mess up the choosing, or no one will do
Well,
it and then it'll
maybe
look
I
really
guess it is
awkward.
like
Or
a sort of vulnerable thing, right? Like putting yourself out there in a way to like give something to the community.
yeah, well, I
Um,
also feel like I have an obligation to do it well for TypeSense. Like, so I want
yeah.
to do it well. It should be like good on the marketing side, like for the visibility for the conference. I better not mess up like in who I choose, like with a however I randomly pick the right person or whatever. And then I also don't
Hmm.
want to come across as cheesy. So it's like all these things like I feel like
Oh
I
yeah.
have to nail. So I'm like happy with it at the end. And it just
Just
like
I
feels complicated.
first and foremost, like just take a deep breath and remember that it doesn't have to be that complicated and it'll be great. You're giving, just
Yeah.
remember at the end of the day, you are giving something back to the community, and that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, that's
but
good. Good
that
perspective.
being said, I would do it very, I would, especially if the team at Type Sense is down, and I feel like
Hmm.
they would be, I would very much frame it as a collaborative thing with
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
You know, like make it something that ideally they're also sharing out and promoting on their
Hmm.
channels because it is like a joint giveaway.
That's true. Yeah.
Tie it into their product somehow, and it shouldn't be complicated. Like, you shouldn't, ask like make a, like submit a PR or an issue to
Yeah.
TypeSense
Yeah.
to be
Hmm.
considered. Like, it shouldn't be anything crazy, but um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not like intimately familiar with their product,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's give me like a TLDR. Give me like a TLDR.
All right. The TLDR is well, I've got to meet Jason, the co-founder, Jason
Yeah, he's
Bosco,
awesome.
and we interviewed him for Indie Rails. So he and his co-founder, they built this search engine. It's a search engine because both were frustrated with the other options that were out there. I think Elasticsearch is very complicated. Algolia is they bill it out as like the open source alternative to Algolia, or a simpler version of Elasticsearch.
Mhm.
Algolia has kind of gone up market and gotten really expensive. So if you need a search that's maybe beyond Postgres uh, offering, like you need a specific search engine for whatever it is that you're doing, like
Mhm.
um, then this ends up being a great option. And it's open source, and they have a cloud offering, and so
Mhm.
that's how the company operates. But the whole product is the open source tool. Like that's what you get. Like that's what everybody is getting. And so you can build that in and basically replace other search tools with that. So they do like faceted search. So like faceted would be like if you're in a store and you want to do categories, like I need a shirt that's blue and it's size medium, and so
Mhm.
like you can do faceted search. You can do vector search, so you can like do vector embeddings, and it's got like a bunch of different things built into it. But it's kind of like simple out of the box and easy to configure.
Mhm.
Um,
I've already thought of like an incredibly complicated
yeah,
idea.
yeah,
Yeah, it's easy. You know what, with marketing, the
yeah.
challenge for me especially is I guess it's similar to programming as well, like wanting to do too much and then realizing like you really need to scale it back down and simple is better.
This is
Because
me
the
all
first
day long.
yeah, exactly. Like this is I'm sure like with coding, for me with writing, content creation, marketing,
Hmm.
like same thing, like
Yeah.
um I think it would be interesting to find a simple way to tie it into like the idea of like searching for something.
Yeah.
Like my first thought was like, oh, maybe they can like hide some Easter eggs in their documentation. And
Huh. Yeah.
I'm like, no, don't
Yeah.
do that. That's like
Right.
way too, like, because here's the thing is like people want free stuff, but they're also, you don't want to make them jump through too many hoops
Yeah.
because you do want people to just like apply.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I think tying it into, well, what if you did, so you guys are working on like you said you might do some kind of cute map visualization, right?
Hmm.
Based on the images you were generating that you showed me earlier, and that like
it's at least
theme.
crossed our minds,
It's
like
cross. Okay,
as
again,
we
I'm
just mentioned,
overcome.
like that's part of it. Is like already thought of so many things we could do with the Ash Villagers that I'm like, we don't have time for this.
Maybe there's like if you did something like that, maybe there is some kind of like type sense Easter egg you could put in there that's not
Yeah.
like nothing too crazy.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like the general theme
Yeah.
of the idea of searching for
Yeah.
something.
I think you're right. I do need to tie it to searching. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is like the most unhelpful
No,
feedback.
I think you've convinced me. I need to tie it that way. It'll feel right thematically. And I hadn't really thought about asking Jason if he would be willing to collaborate at least on the announcement about it.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. I mean,
so
get them to put it in their
yeah,
newsletter and on their
right.
socials as well.
I'm really
I
bad
think
at like even thinking to ask people to do like, could you do
that's
this?
that's the key to
Yeah,
marketing though, is like it really
yeah.
boils down to like it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Marketing
Hmm.
is just like having a very clear message that people are gonna resonate with and remember, and being very consistent about, how you share that message, and then just like relationships. Like
Yeah,
use these relationships as much as, not use, but like, partner with people
yeah.
um, as much as you can, like get that
Hmm.
cross pollination of your message across, because like they want to support you. You are, supporting them and like the entire community by hosting events like these. Like it
Yeah.
should be like a fun thing and a
Should be like a
collab.
win-win.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So like don't
yeah.
just don't be shy about like reaching out to your speakers, your sponsors,
Hmm.
anyone who's involved, and like collaborating with them on things, because I think that's where those are the easiest wins at the end of the day.
That makes sense. I think maybe we've just hit on one of my weaknesses, and probably think I need to think more about and work on. That's really helpful.
Yeah. I
Cool.
don't know if it's really helpful, but
I think
hopefully.
it is. No, I think
Okay.
it is. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I could pick your brain for another hour. I'm not
Yeah.
going to. We're just gonna
I'll let
time
you
box it.
go off and enjoy your Friday, because I know it's like 6 o'clock
Yeah.
for you. You probably want
I gotta
a
get some
break.
dinner started for the kids, but
Good.
yeah. Thank you, Rhiannon. This has been
Yeah, of
great.
course.
I
Thank you
really
for
appreciate
thinking
it.
of me. And if
Yeah.
anyone out there has watched this entire hour-long video, if you're still here and you need help with go-to-market, you know where to find me. I'm sure there
Awesome.
will be some links somewhere.
Yes, I'll share
Cool.
them. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Talk soon.